Are we standing at the brink of an economic precipice? That's the question, because the next presidential election might just decide that fate. Picture this: a race where the future of Social Security and Medicare hangs in the balance, where candidates are divided on a crucial issue that affects millions of Americans in this country. Welcome back, everyone, to our channel. Thank you so much for joining us. Today, we're going to dive into an interesting topic, a particular candidate that you would not expect, especially given her political background, is actually fighting for the American people in regards to Social Security and Medicare. So without further ado, let's get started and dive right in. This is the political jungle where entitlement reform becomes the battleground of ideas. I want you to imagine this: a former South Carolina governor, Nikki Haley, boldly stepping into the arena, now advocating for changes to the very fabric of America's entitlement programs. Now, in a world where political stalwarts tread carefully, she is championing shifts that others dare not touch. Here's the twist: while Haley stands firm on reform, her stance sets her apart not just from her competitors and counterparts, but from the traditional Republican playbook in general. This is a fact. She's challenging the status quo within her own party, and it's very brave of her, where touching entitlements is often seen as political suicide. Now, while some of her rivals do lean towards maintaining the established order and everything as is, Haley takes the road less traveled, advocating for changes that challenge the foundational beliefs of the Republican establishment. See, Nikki Haley is willing to risk backlash from the American people and her colleagues by calling for adjustments that others dare not utter. And she also wants you to smash that like button. Make sure you give this video a tremendous thumbs up. This will help the YouTube algorithm and my channel. I appreciate that. Now, in a landscape where partisan lines often define policy, Haley's approach blurs those lines, challenging the ideological boundaries of Republican orthodoxy. And now, it's a gamble that seeks not just to secure the future, but to redefine the very nature of the GOP's approach to entitlement programs. What do you guys think of this so far? Do you think Nikki Haley is truly meaning what she says here, or is she just trying to get extra votes, knowing that she's probably going to be the next candidate to suspend her campaign? Or maybe she will, if put in office, actually put forth some of these ideas and changes, but then they would face an uphill battle on Capitol Hill because of her Republican counterparts. What do you guys think? Let us know down below in the comment section your thoughts and opinions. Now, her propositions are not just about fiscal responsibility, but they also represent a seismic shift in the GOP's identity as a whole, forcing a reassessment of what it truly means to be a Republican in the 21st century. So let's talk some numbers here, because this isn't just about political rhetoric. In fact, Social Security, which is the bedrock of financial stability for millions of Americans, that is true, is on a shaky path. See, by 2034, the trust fund might be completely depleted. That's barely just a decade away at this point. Time is flying. Medicare isn't far behind, facing a shortfall by 2031, with only 89% of costs covered. This is bad news. Now, these aren't just dry figures. They represent the livelihoods of nearly 67 million Americans reliant on Social Security and over 66 million enrolled in Medicare, many of you watching right now. Yet in the face of these stark realities, the majority still resists major changes. If you look at the numbers and you look at the surveys, they show that 59% of Republicans believe that it's crucial to maintain Social Security and Medicare as they are. And it's a sentiment echoed in the past by none other than former President Donald Trump. So despite Trump's earlier support for significant changes, enter the political ring where Haley's stance clashes with that of her competitors. So while Nikki Haley does call for increasing the eligibility age for future retirees and limiting benefits for the wealthy, her adversaries advocate for keeping the status quo, fearing that the political repercussions of touching the third rail of American politics, as it's called, basically an area you don't want to touch. And the reluctance to reform isn't just about votes. See, it's also about safeguarding the future. Many Democrats do propose taxing the wealthy to bridge funding these gaps, while some Republicans are now pushing for bipartisan solutions. Very few, though. And While this divide remains, risking a collision between short-term populism and long-term stability is on the rise. Now, Haley's proposals aren't without scrutiny. She champions changing in how benefits are calculated, and she wants to link them to a lower index and expanding Medicare Advantage plans. But the devil's in the details, and specifics about the new retirement age remain elusive. Now, as endorsements sway and political alliances shift, the stakes couldn't be higher, because business magnates like Ken Langone, worth over $7 billion, question their own entitlements, because he actually echoes Haley's call for reform. But where does this leave us? Do we persist with the familiar risking a fiscal cliff in the coming years? Or do we embrace some of this change, albeit uncertain, to secure this future? Now, the path ahead isn't clear-cut, and I'm sure you guys realize that. It's a tightrope walk between honoring commitments and making necessary adjustments. The decisions made today will ripple through generations. So the fact is, as the battleground heats up and candidates jostle for support now with 2024 and the first caucus coming up, remember, it's not just about a political race. It's a race towards securing the financial well-being of millions of Americans. And the future of entitlements hangs in the balance. And this might be a strict focus of this election. We're waiting for a leader to step forward and make the tough yet essential decisions. The countdown has begun. The clock is ticking. Whose vision will ultimately prevail? Well, you're going to have to stay tuned for more updates on this gripping political saga, and we'll be covering it all on this channel. What are your thoughts and opinions, guys? Let us know down below in the comments section. With that being said, folks, more updates are to come. If you like this video, make sure you do share it with a friend, get the word out, spread it on social media, smash the like button, I'd appreciate that. Make sure you are subscribed with notifications turned on. That will notify you every time we do post a brand new video on this channel. And if you want to get some free stocks, all on me, all free, use the broker's links down below in the description. Sign up with Robinhood or Webull, you'll get some free stocks, some valued to thousands of dollars, so let us know what stocks you get. And if you want to connect me on social media, I'm also on Instagram, and I'm also on Facebook. You can find me at my name, Logan Cohn. Won't be hard to find me. I'll look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Until next time.